Hey folks, how's it going? I finally managed to get up to the proud difficulty of the event. Sadly, these fights cannot be repeated, and I noticed later that I could have sped them up a little bit. Still, there's no point in crying over spilled milk. So, the first fight are the 3 Hornets. All you have to do here is to get rid of the commander as soon as possible, and you're golden. In the Rhino Beetle battle, all you have to do is bring a single veil. You will be safe from the Blade-wise debuffs. As for the Queen Bee, she's the same as the previous difficulties. She's got a couple of AoE nukes, as well as the single target stings. So, let's see how it goes. So, our main priority here is to get rid of the Hornet Commander, but up until this point I've had some bad experiences. Its health is fairly high, and I've had some troubles keeping my characters alive. So I ended up running Spartan with Unchallenged and Resurrection. In the end, this was a fairly big mistake that made the fight last way too long. Another bit of trouble I had with this boss is the fact that I couldn't quite pinpoint where his triggers were. It's not like we are on Tumblr. For example, he doesn't seem to have a 75% trigger, but instead, when I bring him down to 53%, I get his special attack. So either that trigger is at 65% or at 60%, which are fairly weird numbers for a trigger. Because here we go, he triggers at 53%. But at least we get the idols now, so we can boost our charge bars and do at least a 2-man Ogi. And either at 50 or 25%, here comes the third needle. Thankfully this is going to be the last one, he should be dead now. Now we only have to deal with some minor damage from the first Hornet. But due to the fact that the Medical Hornet apparently removes debuffs, this fight went on way longer than it should have had. And since it's a fairly boring fight, nothing really goes on, I'm going to speed it up. And nearly 5 minutes later, we're finally to the last turn of it. Hornets were a huge pain in the ass. Thankfully we're done with this. The next one are going to be the Beetles. Hopefully they will be a little bit faster. Now this fight is honestly fairly easy. All you need is a single veil, maybe a clear, but I'm not even that sure anymore. And I decided to use the same thing that I will use later on for the Bee Queen, just so near the end I could leave the team on auto and have my characters regain their skill cooldowns. But to be honest, in here, a Warlock with Choke would probably be your best bet. Lots of AoE damage, you could be done with this very soon.
行きます。もっともっと、おそれ。
The hostility boosted on Anila there is going to remain for the rest of the fight, and even for the next fight, if I'm not mistaken.
出方は分かった。もっともっともっとで。力を合わせれば必ず勝てよ。まとめてお仕置きじゃ。もっともっと。お、どうかどうか。盗撮され。
So yeah, as you can clearly see, the second fight is a total pushover, and we're almost done with it. And now we can move on to the second hardest fight of the Pride difficulty. So, the last time we fought against the Queen Bee, it was during a guild war, and I believe she was a fire boss back then. To try and counter her mechanics, I'm bringing Gravity and Delay on my main character, as well as Veil from Nagisa, and 2 summons to help reduce the damage that she deals. With this team I used to run double Carbuncle, but ever since I got the full limit break Athena, I want to try something new. Alright, I almost forgot about this annoying thing. She keeps increasing a character's hostility, so that when she does her multi-hit AoE, most of those hits can go on that character and potentially one-shot it. So we put our guards up, since we should be pushing 75% here. But we managed to fall short. That's a little bit of an issue. Hopefully our Carbuncle can save us from the 75% trigger as well as the Ogi on the next turn. but instead of nuking, she just buffs herself.
行きます。
Well, that went better than expected. Let's hope we can keep it this way. Even though a potion on Anila wouldn't hurt. Yeah, no, she definitely needs one. And let's clear that hostility up. And since I don't have anything better for the 50% trigger, alright, we are still safe. Don't much care for the poison, so I'm just going to refresh the debuffs and the buffs, especially the veil. And let's just keep punching. And we are quickly moving towards the 25% trigger. And I want some protection for that. And at least we managed to catch this one. So, for now, we'll try and delay her, while saving Bea's Overdrive Assassin skill for the next turn, after everybody's buffed. We should be safe, and it should be over fairly soon. Sadly, she didn't manage to hit the main character, otherwise we would be able to augur with him and we wouldn't need to use Beatrix's first skill. There we go. A couple of errors, but all in all a fairly decent run. I would have very much liked to be able to repeat the first fight though. But again, no use crying over spilled milk. Now we've got to prepare for the Proud Plus difficulty. Hopefully I'll see you soon. If not, something terrible has happened. Also, other than the very nice rewards from the item badges and honors, I am very much enjoying the item drops from this event. I can already barely wait for the next.